All right, everyone, welcome back to Into the Fear. I am your host, Chainsaw Sam E. And yes, this is the last episode of 2025 because come Thursday, it's a new year. And yes, we are welcoming 2026 with open arms. So ready for the season. It's not even here yet, but I mean, so excited. So excited. I do apologize for the delay, but I wanted to make sure that I have all the videos uploaded and I had everything that I needed. And a mixture of country internet not working, StreamYard glitching again, and of course, videos not uploading their audio, etc. There's always some kind of difficulties, but that's life. But anyway, so 2025, I want to say was both. It was a blessed year. I'm going to say that right now. It was a blessed year. So much good came out of it. I would say the only bad thing that happened was I did have to put one of my last dogs down, but we knew it was coming. Cancer, it affects all of us in one way or the other. Pretty sure everyone that's watching this has had somebody or is known of somebody, or they themselves have suffered from this terrible disease. And hopefully one day we will find the cure. We can only hope. But anyway, enough of the sadness. 2025. So let's start with the beginning of the year. The beginning of the year. So started off with Valentine's Day. So spent the time Valentine's Day out at Hillside House of Hell. And this was my second year of doing that. They did so many big upgrades this year. So many new actors have also joined the team. The only downfall is that, as usual, it's always freezing during that time. But anyway, still fun year. Well, let's get into what everybody wants to hear. So let's talk about this year's past Transworld. So this year, a lot of new things that they added to the show floor, new vendors, and a lot of course, the returning vendors, etc. My favorite thing this year with it was obviously networking with new people, meeting up with new friends. This year, it was just definitely just a little bit of a different vibe. Also, it was my first official year going completely by myself with the podcast. So me running around, doing everything completely by myself. It was a bit of a learning curve, but got through it. Your girl can do it. Anyway, I'm going to pull up just a little bit of a short recap video I have for this. Trying to do this on a director's chair is not fun. I'm just going to do it this way.
It is time to lock the fuck in.
So yeah, fun little video for you guys there on recapping with Transworld 2025. I know with this year, though, they've already made the announcement that this year they're going to add a pre-haunt tour on Wednesday night, the day before the show starts. This is going to be at Talon Falls Haunted Attraction. That is in Kentucky. So for those who don't know where that's actually located, that's about 3 hours from downtown St. Louis. So it is a bit of a track. You are going to be on that bus for over 6 hours altogether. 3 hours something there, 3 hours something back. So it's definitely going to be a pretty much full day event, but they have a lot of things planned there. It's going to be a full show. And I heard the Christmas show is also going to be involved with that. So cannot wait to see that. I'm not going to give full details out until it gets closer and closer to the show because Transworld this year has been pushed back another month. It is now back to where it's towards middle to end of March, which that's how it's been for the past couple decades. And now they're bringing it back to that, thanks to the America Center finally getting the renovations done and changing the schedule around where Transworld can go back to its normal schedule. But it's literally going to be back-to-back shows this year, guys, because not only do we have, Transworld, we also got East Coast Haunters, literally a direct month. So literally they're only 30 days apart. So you got end of March, end of April. And then the first weekend of June is Midwest Haunters. And then within a little bit over a month, then it goes straight into Texas Haunters. And then, of course, the other shows, etc. So yeah, definitely so ready for Transworld this year because there's going to be so much. Also, they announced what the Saturday Night Ball theme is going to be. Also, with the other nights of what they have events after the show ends, and of course, new vendors and returning vendors are coming. This is the show to be. I tell everybody, Transworld is the show to be because it's the prime trade show for the industry. Anyone who's involved with the haunt industry knows Transworld. This is the show everybody likes to congregate to. But also don't just give all the love to Transworld. You do got to come to the other shows as well. But if you're in the business, this is the show to be, to do your networking, to get all your supplies, props. There's great classes. A lot of the legends in the industry host classes, and there's so much to learn. And again, the networking. This is the place to be for the networking. And then not much really happened after Transworld. It pretty much just went a little bit of things here and there, but it just went straight into East Coast Haunters, like just right after Transworld went straight into East Coast Haunters. And East Coast Haunters every year gets bigger and better. I mean, I call it the Transworld 2.0, but this is an actual convention where you have a little bit more freedom. There's as in you can actually dress up and walk the show floor. It is more catered to haunt actors, not just the owners, but the actors and other staff within the industry and just the haunted house enthusiasts. Transworld is more the business show, while this show is a little bit more for everyone, just from Halloween enthusiasts to actual haunters. And it's the same thing with the Midwest Haunters as well, which is located up in Chicago, while the East Coast is in Philadelphia. So East Coast Haunters added their Christmas show as well. I don't deal with Christmas unless it's horror related, so I don't know how well they did at the show. I know at Transworld I was able to talk to some of the Christmas people, and they say they do very well at the show. I do not know how they did this past year for East Coast Haunters, so definitely when I see them this time, I'm actually going to sit and ask them, hey, did you guys do really well at the show? How do you like it? Have you been to the Transworld one, or you've just done this one? And how do you compare the two shows, especially within the two different regions, St. Louis versus Philadelphia? What is like the big difference? Because I ask the haunters all the time, how do you like with the East Coast versus the Midwest? And it's so much fluctuating. There's both good and bad. Yeah. But yeah, East Coast Haunters this year, they really uppered their step when it came to pre-tour shows. I know the first night, Thursday, they hit Brighton Asylum, which is a haunt on my bucket list. I'll get more into that later because I have an announcement for that. And then they hit up Fright Factory, which was there last year for Terror Tours when we were in Philadelphia. Really cool haunt, very old school. But this year, Field of Screams. Let me tell you, with Field of Screams, that was a bucket list haunt for me. And wow, Field of Screams blew me away. This was their Friday night tour. And during the day, they did Dark Nights, which was at Hershey Park. I did not make that event. So there's 3 events that I missed. I missed the Brighton and Fright Farm pre-tour. And then I did miss the Dark Nights at Hershey Park, just because I was flying in a little bit later that evening. And I really just had just enough time to get my rental car, check into my hotel, and immediately hop in the car and go to Field of Screams. But Field of Screams, wow. Even though the entire haunt wasn't completely open yet, they did not have their hayride open, but they had their other attractions open. One was strictly just a walkthrough, but that one was really cool because they had a lot of fire effects and just, it was like a jungle gym for haunters. It was pretty cool. And then, of course, we walked through the other houses that were completely live, full of actors. Actors were on point. Makeup, costumes, and sets were incredible. My favorite thing, though, of Field of Screams was there's little chainsaw Easter eggs everywhere. Of course, there's the chainsaw bar, but there's like all these little Easter eggs throughout the entire attraction with chainsaws. And I'm like, that I need that in my life right now. But yeah, Field of Screams definitely was well worth the wait. Come Saturday night for East Coast Haunters, we hit it up Halloween nights at the Eastern State Penitentiary. So I've been to the penitentiary by itself for Historic Tour the year before when we were at Terror Tours in Philadelphia. We did this during the daytime. We got to see Al Capone's cell and walk through. We had both a self-guided tour and then we had an actual private tour with a guide. And we went through the entire penitentiary, even through some of the off-site stuff that they normally don't let people walk through unless you sign up for a private tour. So we did all that. But this time I actually got to go there at night and actually see Halloween Nights. Now, it wasn't their full blown show due to yet it is off season, but we got to do a behind the scenes where we got to see their makeup room and their costume room, got to talk to a bunch of the managers. So everything from the actual costume designers to the makeup artists, we talked to the actors, etc. They had food and drinks there, which were good. Their signature drinks that they have there for the event were really good. Yeah, just it was a lot of fun. It does not live up to Halloween Horror Nights vibe like everybody says it does. I'm sorry, I will say this over and over. Halloween Horror Nights is its own category, its own level. You really can't compare it to other Halloween or haunted houses. You just can't. It's in its own league of its own. But yeah, Halloween Nights was pretty cool. But I will say it doesn't meet Terror Behind the Wall. Terror Behind the Wall, which was the original attraction that was there at the Eastern State Penitentiary, not Missouri, at the Eastern State Penitentiary, was Terror Behind the Wall. That you can't beat that haunt. That haunt was a lot more intense, but it was also a different generation of haunters back then. Nowadays, a lot of haunts are trying to be catering to all people, family friendly. Like, I hate that word, family friendly, but when it comes to business motto, you got to do what you got to do. But it was still really cool. Still very much liked it. We had a good time. But yeah, East Coast Haunters this year, they have not announced their tours yet, which I heard rumors, but those are rumors. So I'm not going to talk about those. But hopefully they'll be making their announcement soon. Most likely it's going to be when we get closer to Transworld around within late February or March, when Transworld all set in motion and go. And then they're going to start making the preparations and announcements for the East Coast Haunters pre-tour and any other events, because they haven't even announced the Saturday night event yet or nothing. So we'll see. All right. And then let's jump ahead. Actually, let me backtrack for a bit. So right after East Coast, like it was literally back-to-back weekends, I went out to Woods of Terror for their halfway to Halloween event. So this was my first time going out to Woods of Terror for their halfway Halloween event. I've been there, going there for years during season, but this was my first time actually going out there for their halfway to Halloween event. So a lot smaller group, but still a huge crowd of customers. It was still busier than ever, though it was weird being out there when it was really warm. I did not know North Carolina gets as humid as it does. It was pretty humid. So here's one of my favorite videos that we did. So Woods of Terror does have a 360 camera, which customers pay $5, and then us actors are allowed to jump up there at any time and do the 360 videos with them, and it's a lot of fun. So that was definitely one of my favorite videos from that night. And of course, I introduced some new characters, as I always do when I go out to Woods of Terror. It's the best haunt for me to bring a new character out there, just because in the Midway, there's no specific theme. I can do any character that I want out there in the Midway. I don't have to fit a specific theme. So anytime I want to showcase a brand new character and costume, Woods of Terror is normally the place that I do it. If I don't do it on a convention floor, I do it at Woods of Terror. And it's a good place for me to test drive that costume. Can that costume really fit well in the haunt setting, or is it just a showpiece? So what I mean, the difference between a showpiece costume and an actual haunt costume is a showpiece costume is really just made for videos, photos, convention floor. It's not going to be able to withstand within the haunts. So like my Beelzebub, which is my bee demon character, yeah, she's not meant for haunted houses. That mask, I have severe tunnel vision, so I don't see very well. That's a safety risk. And the costume is durable, but it's not haunted house durable. So I do have characters that are specific for showpieces, and then I have ones that are haunted houses. They're still showpieces because obviously I go beyond detail. I go above and beyond everything, every aspect of a costume. But I do have my ones that are specifically for just showing off, and then the ones that are for the hardcore stuff that I do. And now let's go back to Midwest Haunters. So again, back-to-back weekends within just a short period. So Midwest Haunters this year did not have a pre-tour. I do not know why. They just had the Friday night tour, but Midwest Haunters is a little bit closer to me versus when I got to drive and fly out to the east side, while Midwest is only 5 hours, give or take, for me. So it is a little bit like a local show for me. But our Friday night tour was over at Abandon. So Abandon, I really like the abandoned feeling when you're there. When you were out there, even though there's actors and customers, everywhere, you still feel like you're isolated. I don't know how they got that effect, but you really felt isolated when you're within those attractions. Very dark, a lot of theming. I want to say the second house, and I can't remember the second house's name, but that definitely was my favorite walkthrough part. And I got to walk through with the Stilt Beast and Dark Hour crew, along with the Terror Tours. Troy was walking, or not, no, wait, Troy wasn't with me. No, yeah, I think it was just Alan, Rue, Bug, Shannon. Oh, no, Woods of Terror crew was with us. So we had Eddie, we had Peggy, Brandon, Jimmy, and Jimmy's such a character walking through haunted houses. Oh. But yeah, Abandon was pretty cool. And then, of course, Saturday night was the ball. I showed up kind of late to the ball. Everybody was wondering where I was, but I didn't compete this year because I won back in 24. I won Best Costume with Beelzebub in 24. So Midwest Haunters, I was like, yeah, I'm going to dress up and come to the ball, but like I'm not entering the costume contest or anything. I'm just going to dress in something that I can put together really quickly and then just hang out and have fun, dance around a little bit, just do my thing. But yeah, Midwest has also not made their announcement yet of what tours they have this year or anything else that's going on. Because again, it's still very early in the year. This show isn't until the first weekend of June. So it's not until the summertime. But kind of excited to see who's on the tour this year. Is it any new haunts or is it going to be returning haunts? We don't know. I guess we'll find out. All right, let's move into Texas Haunters this year. So Texas Haunters this year, again, I did not compete in the costume contest because I also won in 24 as well. I won 2 best costumes back to back with 2 different characters. So at Texas Haunters, I actually won 2 years in a row. I won Scariest back in 23 when I first attended. And then my second year, I won Best, which was in 2024. So this year in 2025, I got offered to judge the costume contest, and I will be returning as a judge again for 2026. So Texas Haunters was really a big upgrade this year because we left the Mystique and went into Irving, Texas. And the Irving Convention Center is huge. It's ginormous. So it's great that Texas Haunters is moving up. It's expanding very quickly. And now we're at the convention center where they originally wanted it, which was in Irving. And the show just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So a lot of returning vendors, a lot of new vendors, and I got a lot of vendors that already do Transworld, East Coast, and Midwest now stating that they are going to add Texas on their list as well. And they've never vendored at Texas before, but they are now going to vendor in 2026. So I'm kind of excited about that, seeing them guys all down there. Texas Haunters is definitely going to be really a lot bigger this year because, yes, a lot of people within my inner circle are attending this year versus last year. So, yeah, very excited for Texas Haunters. That's going to be the 3rd or 2nd weekend of July. But again, this is a show that's not until July, so we got a long time to plan. Also, there are rumors that there's going to be an even bigger haunt tour for 2026 than there ever has been in the past. So very excited about that. Once it gets closer to the show and I'm able to release the details a lot better and the announcements are official on the website and stuff like that, then we'll talk more about that in future episodes. But that's all I can give you is that it is going to have a bigger haunt tour for 2026. And of course, it's at a bigger venue and there's a lot more bigger vendors coming this year. So very excited. Again, 2026 is just getting bigger, better than ever. It's crazy. But yeah, here's one of my favorite videos we took at Texas Haunters. And I want you guys to see if you can guess who these three are.
Show me where the freak's at.
Can you guys make a guess who those three knuckleheads were? So that's what we did for the costume contest this year because again, I was a judge, so I had no time to get dressed and get makeup, etc. I barely just made enough time to get back to convention center. I actually had to skip dinner and everything because time just got away from us so quickly. So I didn't get to eat my dinner till like midnight that night. It sucked, but still a fun night. I just was hangry towards the end of the night and just wanted to go back to the hotel and stuff my face with food. So anyway, we decided at the last minute to go get bed sheets. Well, all the white sheets were transparent. They were see-through. They weren't thick enough. So we got the black ones instead. And then we're looking around for cowboy hats and we seen the cheap, like Budweiser, Bush cowboy hats. We put those on. So there were two things that were being called. We were either being called Black Bush or Ozzy's Welcome Committee because Ozzy Osbourne just passed like a week or two before the convention. And yeah, so I was the fourth one. So there were actually four of us. So we were walking around as black chic ghosts with Bush hats on. Originally, we were supposed to have our cowboy boots on too, but I was the only one who actually brought her cowboy boots on. And I'm not even from Texas. I lived in Texas for a few years, a long time ago, but I guess it's because I ride horses. I always got boots on. But yeah, that was one of my favorite memories from Texas Honors was a Saturday night dressed as just as black chic ghosts. Oh, we're terrible people, yes. So coming back to Woods of Terror, within a month later, they had their first year doing the media night. So media night at Woods of Terror is the weekend before Halloween Horror Nights kicks off. And everybody knows Halloween Horror Nights opening their premiere night and their opening weekend is their busiest nights for the influencers, anyone that's involved in any kind of media, from influencers to news crew to radio stations, etc., YouTubers, you name it. They all congregate there that weekend. So yeah. So Eddie decided we're going to have the media night where I'm going to invite all these exact same people, all these people that do Halloween Horror Nights, all these big influencers of Halloween, haunt industry, etc. I want them to all congregate out at my haunt for media night. So media night is just like opening night during season. The entire trail is open. All of the actor spots are filled. Tons of guest actors come in. And of course, all media influencers, media presence, etc. are out at the haunt. It was crazy. Eddie brought in the Still Piece team. So Alan and his crew came in from Dark Hour and they were doing actor training and stuff during the day. And then that night, they themselves even dressed up out there with us. Yes, Alan was out there in costume. So was all of his crew members. It was just so much fun. And yeah, anyone who's anyone with the haunt industry was making their track out there. And I know for 2026, even more of us are going to make it out there for that track. So that was really a very fun night. And I'm excited that now this is going to be an annual thing for us out there at Woods of Terror. So that's going to be like every August or so for now on in the future. Again, when the dates get closer and closer, we will cover more episodes and give you guys more updates and details for the 2026 season. All right, so let's move on. So this is my first time ever making it to Howl-O-Scream. And this is the Howl-O-Scream Busch Gardens, Tampa. So I lived in Florida on and off my whole life. I was born and raised here in Missouri, but I lived in Florida on and off because I spent every summer in Florida growing up. And then I'm always visiting Florida. And then I even lived in Florida for a short period of time. So I've been to Busch Gardens multiple times. I've been to all the amusement parks multiple times, but never have actually made it out to Howl-O-Scream at Busch Gardens during their Halloween festivity, Halloween season. Anyway, so I did not know what to expect. I honestly, I'm going to be honest, I was there for the rides because Busch Gardens has got some really awesome roller coasters out there. Iron Gauzy is lit. I have a hard time comparing that to Velocicoaster. Do I like Velocicoaster more or do I like Iron Gauzy more? It's a hybrid roller coaster, which means it's half wooden, half metal. And it's kind of hard to explain. You have to ride the ride to actually truly experience how crazy it is. You go up a chain pole just like you would on a roller coaster, but yet this thing has inversions and you do go upside down as if you were on a full metal roller coaster. It's insane. That ride is one of the most intense rides I've ever ridden on besides the Velocicoaster. But anyway, enough about roller coasters. That can be a whole other video in its own. But to Howl-O-Scream, I just did not know what to expect because I'm going to be honest, when it comes to amusement parks, the only one that I have a lot of hype for is Halloween Horror Nights because, again, they are on their own level when it comes to Halloween, and they are the experts when it comes to Halloween in the amusement park environment. So I did not know what to expect. I've been to Howl-O-Scream back at SeaWorld San Antonio, but this was back in the 2000s when time was a little bit different back then versus what it is now. Howl-O-Scream at SeaWorld San Antonio back in the 2000s, it was a different time. They had a killer whale show that was fully based Halloween themed out. That was one of the most amazing shows I've ever seen. And of course, they had actors running around. That was first time I was starting to get a little bit more acquainted with haunted houses because growing up, I did not like haunted houses. It wasn't until I got older and started going with friends did I start to like going to haunted houses. But again, this was in the early 2000s. This is before I actually got into the haunted industry, before I started my job and became a full-time haunter. But again, back to Howl-O-Scream. Did not know what to expect. I was actually blown away by some of their sets and their level of actors and their level of intensity that they had. I thought it was going to be kind of just plain, kind of meh. I'm going to say it kind of like what Fright Fest has kind of become over the years because they focus so much on the family friendly. They were not focused on that here at Howl-O-Scream. They were not focused on the family friendly. They did have the anti-boo necklaces that people can wear that don't want to get scared and stuff. But no, they were definitely fully focused on scares and the intensity, making you immerse into the scenes as a haunted house should. So I was definitely very happy with them. My favorite one out of all those was the Mars. And I felt like that I was taken on the planet of Mars and that there's an alien breakout. The concept itself is not original. I've seen it 1,000 times, but I definitely like their execution and their take on how they did it. It definitely felt like an older 70s, 80s, like alien monster film with a modern twist to it. And of course, it's live, it's not a movie. But that's kind of like the vibe that I got from that. That was definitely my favorite house. Their clown section was cool, but again, I'm kind of sick of clowns, guys. I'm going to be fully honest. I'm kind of sick of clowns because everybody does clowns. Every haunted attraction has clowns. Every amusement park has clowns. Clowns are a staple. Yes, they are scary and they have their purpose in the haunt industry. I am not saying that at all. They do have their purpose in the industry. I'm just kind of burnt out with them because it's hard to get the originality going anymore because everybody has done it. But yeah, let's move on to the big dog, the premier Halloween event, which is Halloween Horror Nights. So I still have yet to be out to the Hollywood location. I've only been to the Orlando location 14 times. Yes, this was my 14th year going. And wow. Halloween Horror Nights this year really, really did something different. They really amped up the icons this year. So they really take on the video games too, taking on Fallout and Five Nights at Freddy. I am going to be honest, my least favorite house was the Fallout house. It was cool. The sets and scenes were cool. Yes, the actors were on point, but I've said this before. Fallout, I just could never see it be in a house for Halloween Horror Nights. I know it has a huge fan base because, yes, the video games are awesome. And the show's pretty good, but I definitely like the video games a lot better than the show. But Yeah. I know for the fans probably loved it a lot more. For me, I'm not a hardcore fan, so for me, it was, like, mediocre. It was like, yeah, it was cool, but it just wasn't the best compared to everything else that we had. My favorite walkthrough was, of course, Crooked Lane, which was the old lady that's turning all the little children into cats. I love that. Very original, very cool. Feels like an old grim fairy tale come to life. So I definitely like that originality that they used for that walkthrough. And then my favorite house. So this was kind of a tough one. So yes, Terrifier finally made it out to Halloween Horror Nights, and yes, he was the poster child, the main icon besides the Five Nights at Freddy characters. Everybody was all over Art. What was really sad is poor Art had to have private security with him because guests just can't be respectful, and the actors kept getting harassed and etc. So it's we thought it was hilarious that Art has to have his own freaking secret security with him. I was like, he's such a celebrity, he has to have the security with them. But yeah. Oh, but Halloween Horror Nights. Let's go back to it. So, what were my two favorite houses? It is between Terrifier, which is based off of the films. It was based off of all three films. The sets, it was amplified, the audio, the lighting, the actors. I mean, it was amped up. It was amazing. Absolutely loved it. But me, I always stick with the originality houses better than I do with already existing icon or IP houses, is what it's known as. And mine was favorite was the El Artista, which was a Spanish haunting. It's an original story of a cursed house and the painter. He's in his home painting, and his painting creatures are coming to life. I definitely love the originality. The facade was amazing. The entire maze walk through at the mansion, very immersed. It was just beautifully executed. Absolutely loved it. So, but then Terrifier was amped up, and I did not get as wet as everybody says that they did. So I don't know if they downed the water a little bit compared to what they used to. Cause like I was expecting to go through that house soaking wet. And it's like I literally calmed out with a little bit of raindrops. But for the premiere weekend, people were coming out drenched. So I guess they did take down the water a little bit to what they used to. But yeah. So I am going to go to the comments here because I'm sorry, guys, if it seems like I've been ignoring you guys. It's just there's so much I have to cover in this episode, and I want to make sure I get everything covered. So yes, Ross, I cannot wait for Transworld 2026. It's going to be incredible, as it is every year, but every year it just gets better and better, it seems. And then shout out to my guys over at Haunt Scene, Johnny and Melissa. Hey, guys. Shout out to Christopher Kraus. Yes, it's going to be your first time going to East Coast Haunters. Yes, yeah. And then, yes, I cannot wait to check out Brighton Asylum. I cannot tell you when. Okay, it will be in the season. I can tell you that we will be making it out to Brighton Asylum in 2026 in October. So can't wait to see you guys. And yes, Johnny, Melissa, you guys need to make it back to Texas. I know you guys missed this year, but you need to come this following year in 2026. So don't be shy. You need to come. And then, hi, Ricky from Castle Blood. Yes, Ricky, I am getting to you guys here in a minute. We're going to be talking a lot about Castle Blood. And then, Paul, good seeing you. And then I hope you stay in and watch because we're going to be showing a little clip of Aurora. And of course, you're in the video. That will be coming up here shortly. So yes, good seeing all you guys and miss you guys dearly and cannot wait to see you guys next year. It's crazy. The new year is going to be here come Thursday. But yes, Halloween Horror Nights Orlando was amazing. So much. Halloween Horror Nights gets bigger and bigger. So I'm a 14-year veteran attending the premiere event. And I've done the premiere night. I've done opening weekend. I've done multiple weekends. I've done the Rip Pass. I have done the fast passes. I've done regular passes. I've done it all over the years. And every year this show gets bigger and bigger to where I have to do this in a full week. A full weekend is almost not enough anymore. So we did 2 nights this year and we still actually feel like we didn't get every single thing done. So it's incredible how much this show just keeps growing and growing. I've heard rumors eventually it's going to be both theme parks. It's going to be both on Island side and on the Universal side because it's getting so big that it can't contain itself in one park. That's got to do both parks. I'm hoping those rumors are true because that's going to be freaking awesome. But yes, cannot wait for Halloween Horror Nights 2026. Again, I'm hearing all the rumors of what the houses are going to be, what are going to be the new scare zones, etc. But again, those are just rumors. Until I see it officially on the websites, until I see official promos from the actual people in charge, I'm not going to take the rumors completely seriously. I could take them into consideration, but I'm not going to take them seriously because I don't want to get my hopes up. I've been disappointed before and I don't need that in my life. Okay. But yes, cannot wait for the 2026 year because 2025 is going to be a hard one for them to blow out of the park. All right. So literally not even 2 weeks after that, I got to hit up Lost Souls finally. Japes has been asking me for years to come and attend this bus tour, but it's kind of been hard just with my haunt schedule. This year, we were supposed to do Boston and Salem. My mom and I do a mother-daughter trip every year where we do Halloween related travels because her and I's birthdays are in the fall. So we try to do something around that. This year, some things happened and we weren't able to. So I wound up rescheduling everything for this coming year. And I decided to hit the Lost Souls tour because that weekend wound up opening up for me. So with Lost Souls this year, we were able to hit up Disturbia, Old Juliet Haunted Prison, and of course, the world's famous Hell Gate. Now, let's go with Disturbia. So Disturbia, I've actually not been there. This was my first time finally making out Disturbia. I've been to its sister house, Basement of the Dead, multiple times. I've been out there as a customer, and I've also been out there as a guest actor, but never have I been through Disturbia. And with Disturbia, wow, a lot of animatronics. I mean, the entire haunt is just covered head to toe in animations. Crazy. I know y'all's electric bill is high as fuck. But anyway, Disturbia, really cool sets. Like I said, animatronics everywhere. Like, holy, I've never been to a haunt that had that many animatronics. But actually, they were executed very well. None of those animatronics were like out of place. They were all fluent movement. They were working as attendant. So I was happy to see that because I was waiting to see one that's, either not working or glitching. Nope, all of them worked to a T. So that was really amazing. And the actors were on point. They were very engaging. I was very happy for my first time going through Disturbia. And then, of course, we headed up the Old Juliet Haunted Prison. Now, of course, I love going to locations that actually are real haunted locations. Like, it's not just a warehouse or just this big empty building. No, this is actually in a real location, a real prison, a real asylum, a real abandoned place that has been turned into a haunted attraction. So I've been to the prison multiple times, but this was my first time actually going out there during season. I've always been going out there during the off season. So this is my first time going out there during the actual season. And wow, it was a lot more amped up for season than it has been for the off season events. And it did not disappoint. It was amazing. Hey Jake, how you doing? Thanks for joining in. But yeah, definitely Old Juliet definitely did a lot of good upgrades this year. It was funny because my good friend Matt from Haunting with Friends, I was expecting to see him, but I didn't see him. Come to find out later when we walked by and heard a chainsaw that wasn't running, it wound up being Matt's. He couldn't get his chainsaw running. So I gave him absolute hell and grief for that. I said, if you want us to chainsaw better, buddy, in the future, you're going to have to get those chainsaws started. We can't be standing there all day when you can't get your saw started. I'm just kidding, Matt. Love you. So yeah, Old Juliet Haunted Prison did not disappoint. Always a great time going out there. Shout out to Derek and his crew. All right, and let's move on, of course, to the world's famous Hell's Gate. Hell's Gate is one of my top 3 favorite attractions. I've been out there both in season, off season, etc. I can't even tell you what time this was. I've been out there so many times that I've lost count. This time, though, we actually got a full private behind the scenes tour. Normally, the last couple times that I've done behind the scenes, it was just self-guided and you just walk through and see everything. This one was more self-guided where we actually had staff explained to where they got all these props, where the stories of each one of these scenes, how they became to be, all kinds of fun little stories here and there. But yeah, Hell's Gate is definitely one of the attractions in the world that you have to check out. This haunt has to be on your bucket list if you've never been there before. And even if you have been there before, well, you got to go back again because every year it just gets better and better. Shout out to the Hell's Gate crew. You guys know Sharky, Fluffy, Emma, Tom, Derek, etc. And of course, John, you and the Zombie Army crew, you guys are freaking amazing and incredible. This year, I got to see the mausoleum, which is fully made out of concrete. It is one of their biggest projects that they've done to date out there at Hell's Gate, and it was incredible, beautifully executed, and it was massive in size. I was talking to Derek not a couple weeks ago, and I was like, you guys did an incredible job with that mausoleum. I mean, pat on the shoulder for you guys. Cheers. Amazing. So while I was up there for Lost Souls, so that was just the Saturday night that we hit up the 3 attractions. What's cool about the bus tour is that it's one of the shortest bus tours I've ever been on, especially when we're going through 3 different attractions. The only downfall is it is on a school bus, and y'all know how those school buses can be. The suspensions suck. And they're just rough seats. I'm spoiled. I'm used to going on Greyhound buses and being a little spoiled. I mean, I grew up going on a school bus, yes, back and to from school, but not too often because I did actually always live way outside the school's bus jurisdiction. But I did grow up, yes, going on and off school buses for like field trips and stuff like that. That was the only downfall about Lost Souls is just the damn school buses. But you're on that bus for a very short period of time, and you're on there talking and socializing. Also, Japes and Terry, they do a really great job hosting. So there's gift giving, there's goodie bags, there's entertainment. It's all for adults. So there is Jello shots and things like that that are handed out later. So it goes by so quick. That's my only downfall, I gotta say, because I gotta say something. But otherwise, no. Lost Souls is an amazing, fun haunt tour. It's located in the Chicago area. They do sometimes travel outside of Chicago. So like Milwaukee is very close by. So a lot of times they'll go up to Wisconsin, also Indiana, because again, those states are really close together. So we'll talk more about Lost Souls this next coming year when more tours and stuff are added. Plus we have one more time to talk about the Lost Souls for their Christmas event. We'll get to that shortly. But while I was up there, I also visit the 13th floor. Danny, you are amazing, girl. I've been to 13th floor multiple times during season and for off-season events. But I actually this time got the full VIP experience. Danny walked me through the entire haunt and just, getting to see behind the scenes, meeting with all the staff, getting to see all the cool stuff. And yeah, I got the VIP treatment. So I was very happy with that. And the same when I went over to Midnight Terror, met up with Japes and Andy. And of course, they gave me the VIP tour, best of times. I've been out to Midnight Terror I've been going out there for years. And Midnight Terror, I've guest acted there. I've been there as a customer for both in season, off season. I've gone out there multiple times for photo shoots, etc. It's my little home haunt up there in the Chicago region. And this year with all the new upgrades, Justin, you guys and your crew did amazing. I cannot wait to see you guys all at Transworld because that's going to be the next time I see all you guys. All right, so let's move on to what a lot of people are anticipating. Terror Tours. Okay, so Terror Tours, the past couple years have been insane. And it just keeps getting better and better every year with Terror Tours. So my first Terror Tours ever was for 2024, and that was in Philadelphia. And let's see, we checked Penhurst Asylum, Fright Factory, Devil's Last Laugh, Wardorf State of Fear, which Wardorf State of Fear is where they filmed the Hell House LLC lost footage films. If you remember that trilogy, that's where they filmed it. Well, it's not a trilogy anymore. Now there's like all these other movies now added. But yes, that was cool because we actually got to go into the basement. And that was amazing. And the reason why we got to go into the basement is it wound up raining really hard that day. Troy, it's all your fault. Anyway, It rained really hard, so they wound up having to shut down their cornfield, and then one of their other sections, something with the electric happened, and they had to shut that down. So we only got to go through the house, which that's the one we were all in taste on seeing that because we watched the Hell House films. So we wanted to go through the house. We wanted to see the scenes because we were literally pointing out, oh my God, this is when, oh, I remember this scene. Oh, that's where that girl got killed. We were all just, oh, we're fangirling over the house. But then we asked the owner, hey, can we see the basement? And originally she's like, I really don't take anybody down there, but well, I feel bad that we had to shut down 2 of our houses because of the rain. So we'll take you guys down there. So we got a full VIP tour from the owner herself. And we got to go down there and see the basement of Hell House. Oh, it was so cool. Again, fangirling like a mother effer. We all were down there. It was insane. Pictures galore down there we were taking. And now the owner actually does offer for extra charge to go down there and do a tour of the basement itself. So that was really cool. Plus, they also added an escape room for us as well. And I was really happy that I had a good team because escape rooms, they're fun, but at the same time, they piss me off because if you're in there with a bunch of dummies, and we die, we fail. It's so frustrating. So I was definitely glad that I was in there with a good team where we all worked very well together and we got the puzzle solved in the nick of time. So that was very fun. Shout out to Wardorf State of Fear. You guys were amazing. And then the following day, we got to go out there to Bates Motel. And Bates Motel, I've been out there for preseason, but the preseason, they didn't have everything open. They only had the hayride and the motel open. They didn't have everything else open. While this time they had everything open. So very cool. Bates Motel is a legendary haunt in the industry. I remember seeing it on the original Travel Channel episode that was all about haunted houses. That's how I know what Bates Motel is, from that original episode on Travel Channel. I'm talking this episode's easily 20 years old, if not older, because this is way back on the Travel Channel times where they really went out and seen all these haunted houses and stuff. And also, if anybody remembers America's Haunts, I remember them being featured on one of their episodes as well. So that was really cool, going out to one of these old legendary haunted attractions that's been around for a very long time and is still operating to this day. So that was Terror Tours 2024. Now for Terror Tours 2025, we went from Philadelphia up to Pittsburgh. So 2 years in a row up there in the Pennsylvania area, but the 2 big major cities. So now we're up in Steelers country. So we did get to drive by the Steelers stadium and actually spend some time downtown for a little bit. Not too much, but we did get to see the actual downtown city of Pittsburgh, do a couple little tourist things, anything we could squeeze in during the day. We did get to go see the Night of the Living Dead cemetery, and we did drive by the Creepshow house. So that was cool, hitting stuff like that off your bucket list, reliving some childhood stuff that you thought, places you would never thought missing. We also checked out the Night of the Living Dead Museum too, which was located at one of the malls, not too far from the cemetery. So that was pretty cool seeing that. And they had other little things in there too from other old horror films and stuff like that in the museum. So that was pretty cool. But yes, let's talk about the haunts. So the first one we stopped at was Castle Blood. Oh, Ricky, you and your crew did amazing. I know I can't say enough of it, but you guys were amazing. What was cool about Castle Blood is it is a very old school traditional. It gives me Universal Monsters / the Mubsters kind of vibe, because the actors are a little bit more down to earth. They're not intense or nothing, but they're very theatrical, very engaging, and absolutely loved it because you're immersed in this world and you have to role play around. It's not a typical walkthrough where you're getting the jump scares and blah, blah. No, this is where you're immersed into this world and you have to play along. And each scene is a new role you have to play. And absolutely loved that. That is something that I've never experienced before. And obviously the theatrics really was speaking to, old theatrical theater kid me. But yeah, that was amazing. And that Castle Blood is in an old funeral parlor too, which just makes it extra creepy. Did not have any videos from that. And the reason is there's just no filming allowed. So we only just took pictures and videos from the outside of the building. But again, the building is beautiful. Again, it's no funeral home. So it has just that old spooky feeling just by looking at it. But let's get into, and I see them guys in the comments, Portals of Fear. I did not know what to expect from this. So I've had Chuck and his wife on talking with us, but I just did not know what to expect. It's a first year haunt, and they went from a charity haunt to a pro haunt. So you never know what to expect. But I was completely thrown away by the sets and scenes, and of course, the actors. But what really got me too was afterwards, we went and sat down with the crew and talked a little bit. They did all this within a very short period of time. They had little to no time. They had to get it open. They had to meet that deadline, and they executed their deadline perfect. I mean, I can't say anything bad. It was amazing, and I cannot wait for them guys to continue to grow. I said, if this haunt looks this great right now within its first year, what is it going to look like in 5 years? What is it going to look like in 10 years? I'm excited, and I'm glad to say that I'm going to stick and watch them guys grow and watch their journey prospire. It's amazing. Shout out to Portals of Fear. So then on the second day, we hit up Haunted Hills Estate. This one was funny. So actually, no, the first one we hit it up was Crawford School of Terror. This was their 10th year. Really cool old schoolhouse. And yes, the outside of the building is those old stone, massive castle-like brick building schoolhouse, not like what we have in the modern days. This is where this school was to withstand the test of time. And you've seen that within the building. It was a lot bigger than I thought. I mean, obviously it's massive on the outside, but inside it felt like it went on forever. The basement was my favorite part because it was the most intense, and the actors were the most intense in the basement section. But I would say my favorite scene was definitely they took like an auditorium scene and they integrated into that. And I like that there was a dummy on stage playing with a dead body. I thought that was funny. But then let's move on to the Haunted Hills Estate. So that was the last one we did. That one was out in a Scream Park. This one, the clown section was not, again, I'm just so burnt out with clown guys. I'm sorry. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I'm just so burnt out on clowns. It was fun, but it definitely was my least favorite out of the entire weekend was that clown section. But the house section, and of course the trail. The house section, a lot of detail, a lot of levels. Like it definitely was a lot of up and down, swish, swish, swish. Definitely liked that part because it was just something different. But when we got out to the trail, we did not expect the trail to be what it was. It was very long. And I'm walking with Jared, his wife, Terry, John, Haunt Informer, and then Ashley was with us as well. We were walking down, and so me and John are younger, so we're kind of ahead of the group. And all I could hear is Jared say, "Oh man, with all this damn walking, we better be in another state by now." And then, of course, me and John run up the hill. So you had to go down this real steep hill to get to the trail. And then, of course, the trail is like a mile plus long. It went on forever. And then you got to go right back up that same hill that you came down originally. So that was fun. Of course, they were yelling at us for running up the hill. But I'm like, hey, we got up that hill a lot faster and we got our steps in. But yes, that was a pretty cool haunt. But let me get to the one that really was a jewel of Pennsylvania. And actually, let me backtrack a little bit too, because again, I'm getting ahead of myself. So we got to actually check out Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. So Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, that bucket list, I thought I would never, ever get a chance to come out here. Just not putting it in my head that West Virginia connects to Pennsylvania. So we wound up only being about 2-3 hours away. And we made it out there Sunday before we had to go out to our last and final location for the tour. And wow, this place, massive. Of course, places like this are built to withstand the test of time. And what was really cool is they had areas that they really have never renovated or touched. And then they had areas where they did renovate, but they didn't make them modern. They made it back to the 1920s and 30s of what this place looked like back then. And they executed it to a T. I felt like I was being taken back into time. Everything felt authentic and real. Just absolutely loved it. Then we come to find out that they do have a haunted attraction on site in one of the other buildings, but it was one of those things where we weren't able to add that onto the tour due to scheduling. So I was kind of a little disappointed about that, but it was cool that we still got to see the actual asylum and walk through it. We had a private tour. Our tour guide was amazing, very informative, and also just had a great personality. But what was really cool is this right here. This is where they did the lobotomies. This is the exact room where they did the lobotomies. It's crazy to think that that once was a giant surgical type room. And look what it looks like now. Yes, that is mold, that is asbestos, black mold, etc. That's why they have it taped off and that you're not allowed to actually step in there. You're just only allowed to take photos. And it's kind of like the tour guide was like, really, guys, just really step in, take your photos and get out. There's mold. This building is literally on the verge of possibly collapsing in the future. The structural is just not that great. He's like, it is safe to go in and out very quickly, but I just would not like for you guys to spend too much time in there. But yeah, that's the actual room where they perform the lobotomies. That's crazy. I wish they can renovate that room and turn it back to what it used to look like back in the day to give you a lot more scare. To me, it'd be scarier because now it looks like it's still an operating lobotomy room, but it's still creepy in its own aspect of what it looks like now. But yeah, Terror Tours 2025. Wow. Troy, Ashley, I'm going to say right now, you guys every year just keep stepping it up and stepping it up. And yes, I know what the next couple years are planned. Of course, Terror Tours every year is in a different state. So 2 years in Pennsylvania, because you got the two major cities, you got Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. This coming year in 2026, when it gets closer to the date, because this isn't going to be until October of next year or of 2026, it's actually going to be more than one state. More than one state this time, guys, for the 10th year for Terror Tours. It's their 10th anniversary. So, of course, it's a go big or go home. And yes, it's not going to be just in one state of haunted houses. It's going to be more than one state of haunted houses. So really excited for the 2026. And I also got the updates of what's going to be for 2027 and of course for 2028 and 2029. What are the next plans for the next 5 years of what haunted houses and what states we're planning on seeing? So I am a very proud sponsor of Terror Tours. Yes, I'm a media sponsor for Terror Tours. And oh my God, the tour just gets better and better every year. But this year for 2026, I'm really excited because this has been in the plans for a while and I've known about it for a while. And I can't wait I have to wait till everything is official and the owners themselves, Troy's and Ashley, make the announcements and say, I'm good to go to make the announcement. Some of you might know already secretly, but I can't give you guys the full detail, obviously, until everything's set in stone and ready to go. But I can tell you, yes, that it's not going to be in one state, in one city. It's going to be more than one. So very excited for 2026. Oh, so excited. All right. Yes, Portals of Fears. We will see what 2026 brings us. If not, I can see you guys the following year. We'll just talk when it gets closer and stuff like that. But yes, Portals of Fear, you guys, again, I have nothing but great things to say about you guys. And also thank you guys so much for coming out and visiting me during the actual haunt season. They decided to make it all the way out to Mansfield, Ohio to say hi. And it was so great seeing them. But yeah, shout out to Dark Acres. Thank you for joining into the comments. Yes, you need to build your schedule around Terror Tours for 2026. So I can give you the dates for Terror Tours 2026, and that is the second weekend of October, because that knowledge is out there and available. It is the second weekend of October for 2026. So plan your weekends, your schedule around that, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, Terror Tours was amazing this year. And I just, oh God, I cannot wait for 2026. Like 2026 is already going to be a jam-packed year, and it's going to be here officially this Thursday. But this whole recap video is supposed to be about 2025, but 2025 just has gone by so quickly. No, it hasn't. There's been so much that has happened, but it's the end of the year, and I'm just excited to get started with a new year. The holidays are over with. It's just time to get started with a new year and get the ball rolling. Yes. So right after Terror Tours weekend, I actually went back out to Woods of Terror. So let me pull that up. So I went back out to Woods of Terror come the following year. Why is that so big? That's weird. That logo is huge. Okay, whatever. So yeah, went back out to Woods of Terror for this was my third time going out this year alone. And Woods of Terror during season, of course, is always the best. Done a lot of upgrades. The Baba Yaga house got an even more upgrade. Didn't know that could get even more upgraded than it did the following year. But yes, of course, amazing. Always a fun time. It went by really, really quick though. So this was my first time actually driving out to Woods of Terror. I normally fly in, but I drove this year. And what's great about me driving this year is I got to bring my snakes finally. And that was great because I got to introduce a new character, obviously, because I always do for Woods of Terror. But I got to bring my snakes with me this time. And it was great. I got to bring my little scale babies out and got to show them off and stuff. And of course, they go great with my costume. So hopefully get to do that again because Woods of Terror, I actually can bring them with me and they interact with customers and stuff. So yes, my snakes are very friendly. They're both ball pythons, and anyone who knows ball pythons, they are the most docile species of snakes. They're really good with all ages of people, especially if they're very well handled. They're just big fat noodles. That's what my two are, just fat little chunky noodles. All right, so let's go into the following weekend after that. So that was Terror on 66. So Terror on 66, that is my local haunt for me. So they're only 30 minutes away from my house. It is ran by my good friend Linda and her husband Jeremy. Linda and I have been friends for a long time. So we started together. She actually came to Darkness after I switched out to Creepy World, but we were good friends. It was our own little tight-knit group that we had where we just all hung out together. Half of us were from Creepy World, half of us were from Darkness. And Lent was just opening around that time that we all started kind of together. So then we started adding some of the Lent people in with our little group as well. And it was all for the off-season stuff because obviously during season, we're at our normal haunts that we act during season. But during the off-season, we would always get together for Oktoberfest, Mardi Gras, convention, St. Patty's, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, I mean, at Pride Fest, etc. Any big festival that was going on where we had an excuse to put our costumes and characters on, that's what we did. And Larry used to give us coupons and free tickets and stuff like that to hand out to customers and etc. So, and then he would always cover our tickets and passes to all these events as long as we were there working and handing out coupons and advertising for the haunt and etc. We did all the parades together. So her and I have known each other for a long time, and I can't believe we're still friends to this day. Her and I talk all the time of just like how far we've come. You know, she's like, Sammy, you know, we used to just be actors. We were low totem pole actors. We weren't veterans. We weren't nobodies. We weren't iconics. And look where we are now. She's like, Sammy, you're immediate influencer in the haunt industry, and I'm a haunt owner. Like, we never thought this would happen, but yet it did. And I'm like, yeah, look at us now. We moved up in our ranks in life and we're doing what we love doing. It's called when you have a passion and a drive for something, you can succeed. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. And yeah, there's going to be heartbreaks. There's going to be challenges. You're going to have to make cuts and changes. But when you have the drive and passion for something, go for it. Don't waste your life. Life is too short. You have to push yourself and just do it. If you want to do it, you love doing it, do it. Just do it. Yeah, it's going to be hard. But guess what? The payout is so worth it in the end. But yeah, so Terror on 66, is starting to become known as the Haunted Hoochie of Missouri. Now, Haunted Hoochie is a really cool haunt, but what they're known for is their intensity. It is a rated R touch haunt. It's not family friendly. It is catered to adults. There is adult activity, not really, it's all role play and pretend, but there's adult moments. There is foul mouthing, and they do grab you, touch you, drag you on the ground, put slime on you, shove you into doors, etc. Well, Linda and I were talking, and she said, "Hey, I just need your opinion. What do you think about a touch pass at my haunt?" And I said, "Yeah, talk with your insurance, and you know, you're going to have to make up liability forms, etc., go into your policies and stuff like that. But yeah, totally go for it. No other haunt in Missouri does that. Every haunt in Missouri that I'm aware of as of right now doesn't do that. Everything is no touch or just barely touch." She's like, "I want to hype up the intensity." So this was after the Mardi Gras event. She's like, "I want to hype up the intensity even more." She's like, "I want my actors to actually be able to shove people into freezers. Like, we have this big giant freezer that we can tell people, get in that freezer and then shut the door and give them that scare effect, or put them in these closets or animal cages, etc., to build up the effect." She's like, "A lot of my clientele, they want stuff like that. They have asked for things like that." So that's what she started doing. And now she's kind of known as the Haunted Hoochie of Missouri, because Missouri, it really anywhere in this side of the Midwest, on the west side of the Midwest, doesn't have anything like that. So I'm very proud to say that my local haunt for me is an immerse and intensive rated R attraction. Now they do have the chicken pass, which is the no scare pass. Then they have the basic pass, which it's just normal walk through, jump scares, etc. And then of course you have the basic touch pass, which is just basic little touches or whatever. Then you have the rated R pass, which is actors have full blown range to do whatever it is they want to do with you. And I have a video of that, and guys, go watch it on the YouTube channel now for that full video. But yeah, Terror on Route 66. They just made their announcement dates for their off-season events for February, July, and I forgot the other date. Oh no, February, March, July, I believe. I would have to look because they literally just made the announcement today, so I had to go back and check that. But again, just watch the Facebook page and you'll see more details of those events coming up soon. And then the following weekend, got to head back to Evil Intentions. So Evil Intentions, when it was at the Casket Factory, this was one of my top 3 attractions, if not my number 1 at the time. When it was at the Casket Factory, Evil Intentions was incredible. I mean, just the set design, the audio, the aura, it was amazing. Loved it. One of my top favorite haunts ever. Unfortunately, yes, the Casket Factory building itself got condemned by the city and they had to relocate to a new location. Their new location is in Forsaken Hollow, which is in Maple Park, Illinois. This place is massive. Fitz, you and your crew really have taken on a monster of a project, and I cannot wait to see it grow. Again, the haunt seems so tiny now because of just how big and spacious, not only the building itself, but the property it sits on. It's massive. It's like you take a normal size haunted attraction and you put it in an amusement park. And an amusement park that has nothing else there. It's just one big empty field. So they have so much room to grow and so much to add. It is going to take them time, but I cannot wait to see them guys grow and continue to follow their journey. This year was a lot of fun, just being back, hanging out with some of the old crew members, of course, acting out at the new location, etc., learning the history of the location. So that location had a lot of things going on there. So it was a thoroughbred farm for horse racing. And then it became a an illegal bull breeding farm. And then apparently there were also dog fights held there, cockfighting held there as well. So it's just like, that's just so creepy. And out in the one cornfield, they said there's a boneyard. And we walked out there and there's just animal bones scattered for miles. It was really creepy. I was like, oh my God, why is this more creepier than walking through an abandoned asylums and prisons? I think it's just because it involves animals. Animals are innocent. Animals cannot fight back. They don't have a voice of their own. So it's just more scarier when it comes to things like that, in my opinion. But yeah, cannot wait for Evil Intentions to watch them grow with their new location. And this is only their second year. So cannot wait. All right. Hi, everyone that's just joining into the comments now. So I'm already on to season. So I've already been talking about all the off-season events. Now I'm still towards the end of season now. But yeah, so the next location after Evil Intentions, I hit up Vibe, which is a new haunted location in the Peoria, Illinois location. So shout out to Bill and Scott for giving me the private tour for that. I did not get to see that haunt live because it was not open that night. It was only open on Fridays and Saturdays this year, while their other location is open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. But Vibe is in an old Catholic schoolhouse. Not much of a real crazy history with that one. But from everything that they put together in a short period of time and within the budget that they have, it honestly very well put together. And what was really cool is a lot of stuff they got from the old, if you remember, Baldwin Asylum, if anybody recognizes that name, a lot of their props and sets were taken over to this location. So there's a lot of stuff that I actually recognized from when I walked through Baldwin Asylum about a few years ago now. But yeah, that was a definitely cool experience walking through there. But let's talk about Aura. So Aura was an old tuberculosis. So it sits on a tuberculosis property because if you know back then with tuberculosis, aka the White Plague, they didn't just build a single building. Sanatoriums were property. They were on these huge lots where they had multiple buildings because it was meant to keep people completely contained. So it's just like how like Trans-Allegheny and Penhurst, Eloise, how those places were, where once you were on the property, you never left until you were discharged or whatever. Once you were there, you were there. So everything was self-efficient there. You have plenty of buildings to keep people in. That's where people lived their entire lives at until they were discharged, or they weren't. They stayed there until they passed away. There are cemeteries on site. We did get to see the one cemetery, which is right there by the queue line entrance. So that people think it's fake, and we're like, no, those are actually real tombstones. That's a real cemetery that was for this place. So that was really cool with that history. Scary Gary was there that weekend with us, and he would not go inside the building. It was funny. I'm like, Gary, you've been doing haunting for 30 something years, a lot longer than any of us sitting here right now. How the hell are you scared to go inside that building? He's like, I'm scared. I'm not going in that building. Absolutely not. So he hung outside the entire night. And apparently it was like that all season, all weekend, that he will not go inside that building. So that was funny, just watching him being a chicken shit. I've known Gary for a long time, and I was like shocked to see him like actually scared of something. I didn't think that was possible. But yeah, I do got a video here for Aura. So the videos that I'm going to show today are all short videos. The actual full-length videos are over 5 minutes long. So those will be available on the YouTube channel to watch the entire video. But I do have 1 minute clips here to show you guys. So here's from Aura. All right. So yes, that's not the full length video. The full length video is over 5 minutes long. So I'm not going to show you guys the entire video because yeah, 5 minutes is a long time. So if you guys want to watch the full length video, please go watch it on the YouTube channel. So that is Aura Haunted House. That is also located in the Peoria, Illinois area. A lot of fun in there. I actually got to finally act a little bit with Bill, so that was a lot of fun. And then, of course, I pranked Bill by putting eyeballs in not only his shoes, but in his work bag. He found the rest of them on Halloween. It was a great little Halloween treat for me. Bill doesn't like eyeballs, so all of us in our tight friend group always tease him with that. We always put eyeballs either like in his bag, or we throw like foam eyeballs at him, or we send him eyeball pics and stuff like that. Do not tell me what you're scared of, because I'm going to use it against you. Come on, I named my podcast Into the Fear. I like bringing people's fears to life. I'm a haunter. That's my spiel. That's my thing. That's what I do for a living. It's what I've been doing for almost 20 years now, guys. A big chunk of my life has been nothing but bringing people's fears to life. So do not tell me what you're scared of. Don't worry, I'll still find out somehow. So you're kind of screwed on that. All right, so let's get into this is not the final haunt for the season, but this is what I did for Halloween weekend. And Halloween weekend, I was at Blood Prison. So returning to Blood Prison. Oh, Blood Prison is another of my top 3 favorite attractions of all times. Blood Prison is massive. It is at the old Mansfield, Ohio Reformatory. And yes, this is where they filmed the Shawshank film, but they filmed a couple other stuff there too. But it is famous for the Shawshank Redemption movie. And it's just massive in size and just beautifully constructed. I have never seen an old prison that is in such great condition. Eastern State has a lot where it's fallen apart. Same with Missouri State Penitentiary. Even Old Joliet has some parts where it's fallen apart real bad, while Mansfield is just in prime peak condition. Shout out to the Historic Society and everyone else involved that keeps that place in pristine condition. It is beautiful. Now, of course, when you walk through the corridors of the prison cells, they look crepid and the paint's peeling and stuff like that. But the structure itself is still in great condition. There's nothing dilapidating. There's nothing falling from the ceiling or anything like that. But it just gives you that creepy old feeling of a prison. And me as a correctional officer, that's up my alley. Seeing these old prisons of what they used to look like versus the modern day prisons. Modern day prison systems are solid metal doors with a small window. And that's it. Well, old prisons are the bars where you see through and you see everything. And inmates can actually reach out and try to grab you if they wanted to. Versus nowadays, they're sealed behind metal walls and a small little tiny little window they get to see through. Sometimes not even that. I know that there's some prisons and jails that have complete isolation where there are no windows, there's nothing. There's that small camera, and that's how the COs watch you, is through that tiny little camera in the corner. So you have no windows, you have no way to see the outside world or nothing, completely isolated and cut off from the world. Very scary. Well, don't break the law. That's the only thing I can tell you guys. Anyway, back to Blood Prison. Blood Prison is one of my favorite places to guest act, because everyone is just intense. Everybody is amped up. Amazing. Shout out to Vic and his crew. You guys did amazing. And of course, again, it is such a privilege and honor to be out there acting with Andrea, the warden's widow, and her guards and the rest of the team. Just, you guys are amazing. Love you guys over there at Blood Prison. And again, shout out to Portals of Fears crew for coming out and seeing me out there, guys. That was like such a treat. I'm literally just... I was standing in line getting coffee, and then all of a sudden I look over and I was like, oh my God, you guys are here. And it was just, so amazing. But yeah. So here's a video that I have for Blood Prison. And again, the full length video is going to be available on our YouTube channel because it is an over 5-minute long video. But here is the short video for you guys. So scared. I'm ready to get scared. So that video. So when you actually watch the entire 5 minute plus long videos, because yes, I do make my videos a little over 5 minutes because there's just so much that I film, so much that I can't pick and choose. And a lot of times I don't want to make like 5 or 6 videos. So I try to put everything into one 5 minute long video. I know, yeah, 5 minutes is a long time for a video, but just so much. I am so proud of that Blood Prison video because all of those shots were kind of like accidental. They were not fully planned. It was immediate improv, 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 catch, 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 catch. I did that all within one night. So I'm very proud of the Blood Prison video because that was all shot in one night while I'm guest acting, while I'm interversing, while I'm doing, running around doing interviews, photos, because I took tons of photos that weekend too. I am so thankful for the camera that I purchased because that has been the best thing. I can take photos and videos very quickly. And then of course it works very well with my microphones. And just, I'm so proud of that video. So guys, please, yes, go watch it on the YouTube channel. I'll even put the link on the Facebook page for you guys to go directly and watch it later because I am just so proud of that video. Oh, it was so great. Anyway, that's just the short one, guys, because I'm not going to post the full 5 minute long video because it'll probably cause StreamYard to glitch. But yeah, Blood Prison, always a blessing going out there. It is just so much fun. Always have a top-notch blast. So after that, that was Halloween weekend. So then after that, I went back out for Terror on Route 66 again for their media night, which we invited all of our local influencers. This year is the first time we did it. So we pretty much only invited a bunch of our local influencers. So that's everything from St. Louis influencers to come out and check out this event. We did have Ashley from Dead Factory come out and see us with her crew. And oh, that video that we have of them is so fantastic. We scared the living shit out of her crew because, of course, they got the rated R pass because she asked me, she's like, so what's the rated R pass? You want to find out? Sign up for the rated R pass. Here, sign the waiver. Here's your red necklace. Have fun. And oh, it was great. And then, of course, I went over and told everybody the whole crew's names. And then we had our friends from Creepy World come out and join us. And the Creepy World crew got fucked up. They really got fucked up, as in they weren't just getting the basic, crazy, normal stuff that we normally do for the radar pass. Them guys were getting thrown around. They had no idea what to expect. It was so much fun. And then the following night, I got to hit up Indianapolis and finally check out Nightmare on Edgewood. And I'm so sad to see that haunt go. I was really hoping it would work out with the new owners so it would stay, but unfortunately, sometimes the best things end. They had a hell of a run. Someone told me 40 something years in the business, if I heard that right. Oh my gosh, it was incredible. I did not know what to expect for that haunt. So that haunt was open for the annual Scare Factor. If you guys know Tyler and Nora and their entire teams from all over, they are probably the #1 haunt reviewers in the industry. They've been around for a while. Tyler and Nora, that's all they do is travel every single weekend. I don't know when those guys have time to do anything else because every weekend they're at haunted attractions, and they're not just at one haunted attraction, they are everywhere. Like those guys travel lot more than I do. They travel more than anybody. They have been to, their goal is probably to reach every single haunted attraction in the industry. And they're getting close. That's for damn sure. But Tyler and Nora put on this amazing Monster Bash every year. And this year it was awesome. I hear about it. I see videos. It's just every year the scheduling never worked out. This year it finally worked out, and I was glad because it was the last year for Edgewood. But oh, let me tell you. So #1, I did bring one of my snakes. I brought Arrow, which is my youngest. I brought him with me. So he was the height of the party. Everybody wanted to come up, hold him, and pet him. But anyway, going through the haunted attraction. So what was great is I got to meet up with Derek from Old Juliet. I got to meet up with Emma Tom from Hell's Gate. Oh, man. Let's see. Carly was there. Oh, God. I'm trying to remember everybody. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to probably forget tons and tons of people here, guys. And I do apologize. Um, but also Slider Jesus was also with us. And of course, everybody knows Slider Jesus. He is a celebrity icon in the industry. Multiple million followers on his TikTok. And of course, he has all the cool Slider videos. Anyway, he was with us. And of course, all the actors and staff recognized him in the haunt. So everybody was fucking him up more than they were with us. So yes, this was an immersed touch haunt, and everybody was fucking him up. All the actors were like, "That's Slider Jesus," and of course we're all like, "Okay, here, have him." He got thrown on the ground. He got tied to the chair. I got thrown in the chair. It was a dental, like old school dental chair. I got thrown into that, and then I had the actor jump on top of me while I'm sitting in that chair, and I'm like, "Oh God, if this chair breaks." Then I had another actor jump on my back. And then I had to swing her aside and like set her down on a table. 'Cause I was like, I don't know if I could take you with me, honey. Oh, it was great. And then we got Slider Jesus down on the ground. And then they told me to jump on his back. So now I could say, hey everyone, I got to hitch a ride on Slider Jesus through the haunted house. Anyway, oh my God, they threw his ass on the table, and then we took off his shoes and threw his shoes randomly throughout the haunt. So we had to backtrack and go find his shoes. Then we threw Tom on the table, and then Emma took his belt off and then threw that somewhere in the scene, and then he's trying to find that. It was we were just being obnoxious, but we're haunters. That's what we do. But yeah, Edgewood. Oh my God. Shout out to the crew. You guys did an amazing job. Shout out to Scare Factor, Tyler, Nora, your entire team did freaking amazing. And of course, to all the attendees of Monster Bash. I had an incredible time. I cannot wait to return to Monster Bash. It will be at a new location now due to Edgewood now closing. But oh, it was definitely a night to remember. And that was honestly the best way to end haunt season officially. Because then it went straight into Christmas. Yeah, so we had the annual Christmas episode. Japes come on, and him and I talked a lot. Eddie, of course, returned and joined us. I did make it out to Krampus Christmas this year out there for Woods of Terror. I decided to take that off because my family, with my daytime schedule, making me work all the holidays this year, me and my family had to celebrate the holidays on different weekends. So I had to say no to Woods of Terror this past Christmas, but I've already been out there 4 times last year. So I did take a break this year for Woods of Terror. But of course, Woods of Terror, I still love my haunt family. You guys are amazing. I hope you guys kill it for Valentine's this year. And yes, we'll get more onto that here in a second. But I did get to snag a weekend and go and do the Lost Souls tour, their annual Christmas tour, which was really fun. And yes, you see Japes there on the left, and then that's good old Andy on the right. Look, they look like twins. So yeah, Lost Souls Christmas this year hit up 5 points, which is originally was a home haunt, now turned into a pro haunt. And 5 points, honestly, I did not expect a lot from it, because they went from a home haunt to a pro haunt. And I don't put high expectations, especially within their first couple of years, because they do have a lot of growing, a lot of things to do and change, because it's so different when you go from a home haunt to a pro haunt. It's day and night. There's no comparison. It's a huge change. But honestly, these guys did a really well execution, especially with their actors. Their actors are what I was most impressed with. Actors were on point. They were really engaging and good, and they fit their characters very well. Because a lot of them, it was their first time acting too. So I was very impressed. And of course, the whole Christmas vibe, absolutely loved it. The only bad thing about Lost Souls this year was, was it cold? Was it cold? Let me tell you, we didn't want to leave that bus. We would not leave the bus till they were like, okay, come on, guys, come in. And we were like running. Of course, the entire parking lot is one solid sheet of ice. So we're almost slipping and falling to get inside as quick as possible. It was fucking cold. Holy shit. Yes, I know Chicago gets cold in the winter, but ooh, that was the coldest Lost Souls Christmas tour ever. We made that official. But on my way up there to Chicago, I wound up hitting out a whiteout storm. that came out of nowhere. It was not supposed to happen. So this was the halfway point between St. Louis and Chicago area. And what turned into a normal 5-hour trek from where I live up to that area turned into a 9-hour drive. I was so happy that I was in my truck and it was my first time ever driving in that type of terrain with my new truck. So I was very proud that my truck handled it very, very well, and that I have an automatic starter on my truck. So I can just start my truck from inside, let it warm up before I make the truck to go outside, and I don't go into a freezing cold car like I do in my normal daily driver. So yes. And then the second haunt for the night was Midnight Terror. Now I've been out to Midnight Terror for their Christmas event, so I knew what to expect, but there was people there that I did not know that were there. I was upset that Sharky was there, and I did not know that was her. I was really quite upset later on when I found that out. I was like, that was you the whole time? That was you the whole time, and I didn't even know. Oh, I feel stupid. But it was so great seeing the Midnight Terror crew again, hanging out with Andy and Justin and the rest of them guys, hanging out with Barbie. Miss you, girl. So that was amazing. And of course, their Grinch actor is over there eating an actual real onion and then trying to pass it along to customers. And I'm like, okay, I've seen Grinch people play. Okay, sorry. I've seen actors play the Grinch with an onion, but he's straight up eating that onion raw. So kudos to him. And he was eating a raw banana too, like nasty yellowish, black, brown banana. And then of course was throwing it at customers going, you want it? Here you go. Like, y'all are gross. Oh my God. But yes, kudos to Midnight Terror. You guys were definitely the highlight haunt of that tour. Even though with it being so freaking cold that I'm just sitting there all bundled up, shivering, going, this sucks. And yes, I will have a video uploaded soon for the Midnight Terror haunted attraction, because I did go through with my actual camera and did some filming for a little bit. But yes, their Christmas fear is definitely top notch when it comes to the Chicago area. If you're in the Chicago area during Christmas Fear is definitely one of the top attractions that you need to visit and see for your holiday annual Christmassy. And we're haunters. We don't care for Christmas. We only like it when you throw the horror and Halloween aspect in with Christmas. Then we like it. Otherwise, if it's a normal, joyful, regular Christmassy, we really don't care for it. Some of us still do, but me on the other hand, Christmas just always meant family drama for me. While Halloween was always the fun holiday where I get to be who I want to be, and it's all about the candy and fun, there's no family drama, etc. And because my birthday's in the fall, I still get to celebrate opening presents and getting gifts around the Halloween time. While Christmas is always family drama, work drama, and it's just the holiday spirit. So Christmas has its pros and its cons. Yes, it's a time of giving and, of course, the actual Christmas spirit, but surrounding it is all the drama and chaos that Christmas brings. So, and unfortunately, it's hard to focus on the fun stuff of Christmas sometimes. But Linda's finally in here. Yes, Linda, I don't know if you've heard, I was talking a whole lot of Terror on 66 and, of course, mentioning your new upcoming dates that you guys just released today that are coming for 2026. And then what's up, Misty? This was a pain to find, but you found it and share it. How was it a pain to find? Girl, it's on Facebook. But yes, that is how I ended my 2025 season, was going for Lost Souls up there in Chicago, which honestly, I think that was a good little treat. So, because the rest of the Christmas season, I spent a lot of time with my family. And of course, I'm picking up a lot of overtime and extra critical shifts with my daytime job. So yeah, I'm just glad that the holiday season is over with and I can immediately go straight into focusing on convention and trade show season and other off-season events coming up. And of course, prepping for the 2026 Halloween season, because it is going to be a banger this year. And like I said, it hasn't even started. We're still in 2025 for the next couple days. But 2026, man, I'm already got it started. I'm going to be honest, I'm already got 2027 and 2028 seasons already in prep and to go, because I like to go ahead of myself here. But I am going to show you guys some of my favorite videos that I did for this year, because again, I'm starting to do a lot more videos and photo stuff to add with the podcast. And of course, just to add stuff to the channel and etc. So here's some of my favorite videos that we've done this year. So that video right there was shot at Terror on Route 66. And shout out to that entire crew that was on there. Misty is featured in there along with Deb. I also have Alyssa, Dylan, Jeremy, and Rusty, aka Slade, all featured into that video. So a lot of them guys, minus Misty. Misty is one of my good cosplay friends. We've known each other for years, going to conventions and stuff together. While the rest of the crew that's all featured in there, we all were at the Darkness together at one point. So we've known each other for decades now. And a lot of us go out there to Terror on Route 66 to play and have a good time. So shout out to them guys for doing that behind the scenes video and that nice little fun clip with me. All right, so let's do another fun video. So this was actually shot at the July parade, the 4th of July parade in Sullivan with the Terror on Route 66 crew. So the beginning of the parade, what the parade does there in Sullivan, they have the fire department leads the parade. So you have the fire truck and all their ambulance vehicles, etc., lead the parade. Then it goes to obviously all the different local businesses, charities, etc. The end of the parade, they have the police department. And Jeremy actually had no idea that they were behind him the entire time till I said something. And I'm really proud of this because I'm literally on horseback. I ride my horse every year in the parade, and I was bareback too. And I turned around and looked, and I just started recording, and I just started talking to him, and he turned around and he's like, "What?" So yeah, let's watch that video.
I told you, Smiley, not to steal them donuts from the PlayStation. And now they're coming for you. Now they're coming for you. I told you. Oh, my God.
So, yeah, he comes up to me later, and he's like, how long were they behind us? I'm like, they were behind us almost the entire time. That's how they do the parade. The fire department leads, and the police department is at the rear. And he's like, I had no idea they were behind us the whole time. Did they have their lights on the whole time? I'm like, yeah, they had their lights on the whole time. And he's like, that's crazy. So that was a fun video. And that video hit like 20,000 something likes on my TikTok. That was insane. I was like, holy shit. And it got shared everywhere. But that was one of my favorite videos we took this year. All right, what video is this? Oh, I was supposed to show that earlier. I am so sorry, guys. I'm over here slacking. So this was the video that I took for the promo for Woods of Terror for this actual in-season. So here's this short little clip. And I do apologize. It's kind of small, just the way the video was taken. But it is available on our TikTok and the YouTube channel for you to view it in full size.
Hello, home fans. Bone Daddy here. Man, it's Saturday night. In a minute, we got to open because there's too many people here.
Welcome to Woods of Terror. My name's Raskow, and this is Into the Fear. So tell us, what brings you to Woods of Terror?
come to Woods of Terror. That's where you go, all right?
Woods of Terror for fun. Have a great time. What? Oh, I will have Woods of Terror. I'm getting scared. So watch my friends get scared. What's the question? My friend, the last time I did not make it. Last time she was here, she had to go out the emergency exit. So we're hoping for a better time.
Well, I've been telling you, you got to come check it out for yourself. Log on to woodsofterror.com and buy some tickets.
Of course, all these videos are available on the channel and also on the TikTok as well. So yeah. Oh, as you can see in the video, Woods of Terror is nothing but a big party. That's all it is. Big party, great time. That was, majority of that was all shot in the Midway. The Midway is enormous, and yes, customers everywhere, full on entertainment. You have everything from a live band to DJs. There's a dance floor. There's live entertainment. We have Dead City Circus Slideshow. Them guys do fire performance. They do freak show performance like walking on glass, sword swallowing, shoving stuff up their nose, etc. They do a lot of stuff, a lot of acrobatic tricks now as well. They've just added that for this year. So yeah, Woods of Terror, log on to woodsofterror.com. And you guys got to get tickets. If you haven't been out to Woods of Terror, you are truly missing out. You're a bum. You need to check out Woods of Terror. Greensboro, North Carolina. All right, so let's move on to another video. So this was another video that hit up a lot of views. This was just a short clip, and I know a lot of you have been asking me, Sammy, you need to do more videos like this. People want to see this. And guys, yes, for 2026, I am going to do more videos of my awesome chainsaw sliding. And yes, that was filmed at Blood Prison. You just see that big, massive building behind it. Oh God, that was a gorgeous shot. Yes, my chainsaws are massive in size. They are 50 pounds each, and there's 3 of them. Yes, they are 50 cc's. They are big, they are powerful, but I wouldn't have it any other way. The big actual chainsaws help me slide better. I slide better with the bigger, heavier chainsaws than I do with the smaller, lighter weight ones. So, and back when I first started as a chainsaw runner, because I was a woman, Creepy Roll wouldn't let me run a chainsaw. They said, nope, you're a woman. We don't let women run chainsaws. Well, I just went to Home Depot and bought the biggest chainsaw they had, and the rest is history, because I said, nope, I supply my own chainsaw. I don't need you guys to give me a chainsaw. I brought my own. I even brought my own gas. And yeah, and then I became the best chainsaw runner they have ever had to this date. I have trained, I have taught, and yeah, I'm still a legend. I'll brag about it all day. All right, and then this is a cute little video that we had from the Christmas parade that we did this year. So this was our first time doing the Christmas parade for Sullivan, Missouri with the Terror on 66 crew. So we've done the 4th of July parade. This was our first year doing the Christmas. So this one here, I've actually have a little bit of an episode talking about the controversy when you're mixing Christmas events with haunted houses. Now, of course, haunted houses, they're private businesses. They can do whatever they want. They want to add the scary horror Christmas. They want to bring Krampus in. They can do whatever they want. But when it comes to parades, which are public events that are catered to family friendly, usually the type of people that put on these kinds of events, they frowned upon haunted houses because they don't want us scaring their kids. They want it to be family, happy-go-lucky, jolly. Yes, I know, Misty. Boo. Boring. But I get it. It's for the kids. I liked the horror crazy stuff when I was a kid, but I'm also messed up in the head. So I don't know. I was born different. But anyway, we knew that was going to be a little bit of an issue, but we actually executed it really well. We went very light on the makeup and masks. We did no blood whatsoever. I wore Jingles, which does have blood on the costume, but because the costume is already red, it blends in very well to where in the dark, in the distance, you can't tell. it just looks like the costume's dirty, even if you can tell that in the dark. But anyway, as of course, I'm in a parade. So I was on top of Autumn and I dressed her up this year. She was so thrilled. No, her ears were pinned back the entire time. She wasn't happy, but she does whatever I tell her because I pay her bills. But here's a cute little short clip of us. So that is the most family friendly I will ever get. So that is the video evidence that I can get family friendly when I'm in character, but that's extremely rare. And I would not like to always do it again. The reason why I did it is because I'm on my horse and nothing is better than me being in one of my haunt characters on top of my horse. Because involving my horse, who is my pride and joy of my life, involving her in my passion just makes things a whole lot better. But yeah, that was our little Christmas parade that we did. Everybody else was dressed up as Island of Misfit Toys. That's what was the whole thing we were going on. So everyone was dressed up as like dolls and young children. And yeah, we went very light on the makeup. We tried to make everything less scary as we possibly could with still having the haunted house theme. But yeah, that was still a lot of fun. And most likely we are going to do it again for next year. So very excited for 2026 as well, because now there's more parades added, more conventions, more shows, more off-season events. I mean, 2026 is going to be a jam-packed banger of a year. Yes, I will be back out to Woods of Terror multiple times again. So here's the announcements I can make for that. I will be back out at Woods of Terror in August for Media Night. I will be back out for the first weekend of October for full weekend during season. And then I'll be back again for the Legendary Haunt Tour. Yes, Trans World Legendary Haunt Tour that they do every year directly after haunt season is making its way out to North Carolina, and Woods of Terror is on the Legendary Haunt Tour. Again, congratulations to the Woods of Terror crew. You guys have earned this because this is a special, it's going to be a very special event for you guys. You guys have absolutely earned it. You guys over the years have just done the best of the best. You guys have brought revolution and new ideas to the haunt industry. And now you guys finally get to showcase it to the big dogs in the industry. So congratulations, guys. I cannot wait to celebrate with you. Oh, yes. 2026, let me tell you, it's going to be a banger, crazy year. Oh, I can't tell you guys every single thing yet because not everything is official. And yeah, I'm the one where until contracts and everything is signed, everything is good to go and approved, because everything right now is still in the works. But I can tell you 2026 is going to be one hell of a year. It really is. And I hope it is for everybody, not just me. So yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this live feed because I got to get to bed. I got to be up early. So, but yes, if you guys want to see the full length videos, I have everything featured on the channel now for you guys to view. And guys, happy new year. See you guys in 2026. Remember, stay scary.